How do you say these words in English? If you said mobile, phone, and euro, then you're making the same mistake as a lot of learners in English. I'm Magic at your English Upgrade, and welcome to Pronunciation Hacks, a video series where we discover how we really pronounce words in English. In this video, we're going to look at some basic and more advanced words containing the same sound, something I call a pronunciation pattern. We'll discover the sound first, practice it in words, in sentences, and finally listen to a short story that contains as many words with this sound as possible. There'll also be a little advanced pronunciation bonus for you at the end of the video, so make sure you keep watching. So how do we actually say these words? Listen and see if you can identify a pattern. Mobile, phone, euro. Did you hear how we pronounced the letter O in these words? It sounded very much like the letter O from the English alphabet, didn't it? To make it, we need to round our lips and say O, and then connect it to another sound, which is U. And this results in an O sound. This is a very unusual sound in many languages, and many learners studying English simply say O instead of O. But we can't blame them, really, since there's almost no correspondence in English between spelling and sound. The 5 vowels we have in the English alphabet actually give us 20 different vowel sounds. And because of this, we should always check the pronunciation of new words in a dictionary. Now, in our case here, where the letter O is pronounced as, well, an O, students make lots of mistakes. So let's practice these words together, and since my aim in these videos is to give you as much practice as possible, we're going to start with 20 basic words first, then we're going to do 20 advanced ones, and then we're going to do 20 which are equally difficult for beginners and advanced students. Ready? Let's go. Here are 20 basic words where the letter O is pronounced as O. Mobile, phone, cold, hotel, old, only, focus, most, both, process, note, roll, gold, stone, control, moment, clothes, local, emotional, whole. Well done! And now here are 20 advanced words with the same sound. Totem, quote, devoted, remote, profile, globe, promotion, component, host, bold, fold, notification, hostess, stakeholder, cooperate, co-worker, proactive, scope, notice, bio. Well done! So how about doing some more words with the O sound that are going to be equally difficult for beginners and for advanced students in English? Let's have a look at our last word on the advanced list. Bio. The problem here is not only that there is an O sound in this word, but also that it's at the end of the word. And many students have a natural tendency not to say O at the end of the word. But for native speakers, saying O at the end of the word is the most natural thing to do, because this sound helps them link the word ending with the O to the next. So making that O sound makes them sound very fluent. It makes their speech flow in a very natural way. So it's definitely worth practicing the O sound at the end of words. Here are 20 words containing the O at the end. Euro, combo, video, radio, disco, demo, also, avocado, ago, studio, zero, echo, piano, ego, typo, ratio, stereo, logo, photo, portfolio. Well done! Now let's put some of these words into sentences. Listen and repeat with me. We only spent a few moments at that old local hotel. I noticed I had 43 notifications on my mobile phone. Both the process and the role require emotional control. His bio, portfolio, and profile contained typos. Let's mostly focus on our most proactive co-workers. Well done! Let's practice these words containing the O sound in a broader context. I'm going to read a little story to you, and I'll be highlighting all those words that contain the O sound. By the way, you can download all the audio files with audio practice from this video by clicking a link in the description below. It's completely free, so start practicing this pattern today. And just before we start, if this video is bringing you any value or teaching you anything useful in English, please consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any of our future content. And if you're not ready for that type of commitment yet, do consider liking the video, as it gives me feedback and helps me to know that I'm doing a reasonably good job teaching you English. And now let's come back to our story. Pay attention to all these highlighted words that contain the O sound. In the dark, Jo focused on her mission. A robbery at a local gallery hosting a charity event. The target? An ancient totem pole covered with gold and precious stones. Jo stole lots of things for her gang. Her career as a thief started at discos, picking pockets, stealing phones and wallets. But with the huge ego and a cold character, she wanted bigger targets. Her proactivity, boldness and devotion ensured fast promotion through the ranks of the gang, and soon her scope included thefts at high-profile museums and private mansions. The totem she was about to steal was going to be the most valuable object in her portfolio. She unfolded the blueprint of the gallery and quickly processed the key components of her plan. It was almost 11, and the host and the hostess of the event had long finished their final speech. The gallery was closing. Her mobile buzzed with a notification. Go time 2 minutes. The security guard she had paid was apparently doing quite well. They hadn't worked together before, and she wasn't sure if she could trust him, but he was her remote solution in case things went out of control. Anyway, it was too late now. Focus, she told herself. She left her hiding place, her footsteps echoing lightly through the dark hallways. Her black clothing against the dark walls made her almost impossible to notice. Silently, she slipped into the room where the totem was held. Getting closer and closer, all she could see now was the gold and precious stones that covered the pole. Focus, she told herself again as she took notice of one of the motion sensors. Her prize was almost within reach. Then suddenly, there were footsteps. Jo froze, her heart racing. Nobody should be here now. Then everything happened at once. Alarms went off, echoing through the building, and a potent bright light flooded the room, blinding her for a moment. As her eyes adjusted, she saw police officers running into the room. Jo felt everything was going on in slow motion. Someone pushed her to the floor, and a moment later she heard the handcuffs click behind her, noting the cold metal closing around her wrists. Standing above her, with an ugly smile on his face, was the security guard. Well done. So again, download the audio from the link in the description and start practicing the pronunciation of the O sound. Now, I've promised you a little bonus for advanced pronunciation, and this is exactly what we're going to do now. Have a look at these two sentences and think how the highlighted words here are pronounced. How would you say them? Most students in this situation would probably say don't and want. But this is actually a tricky question because it depends on the emphasis that we put on the sentence. In fast connected speech, you can actually get away with saying don't and want. I don't speak Italian. She won't like it. But actually, if we put the emphasis on these auxiliary verbs, the pronunciation changes. Listen. I don't speak Italian. She won't like it. Now you may be asking, why would you want to put emphasis on the words don't and won't in a sentence? Well, imagine, for example, that you are together with a friend and they are assuming that you speak Italian and you want to correct them on that. So instead of saying, I don't speak Italian, just as a normal statement, correcting them, you're going to say, I don't speak Italian. Or in a different situation where somebody has something your friend will clearly not like, and you want to emphasize this meaning by putting the stress on the negative. She won't like it. Sentence stress in English is actually a fascinating subject, so if you would like me to make a video on it, please put it down in the comments below. In fact, if there's anything else related to pronunciation, grammar, or vocabulary that you would like me to make videos on, make sure to let me know in the comments. And by the way, grammar and vocabulary are two other areas that I make videos on. So if you have a few moments to spare, why don't you check this video out to see what we've got in store for you? And if you're still watching this video, do click that subscribe button below so that you don't miss any of our future content. Take care, keep learning, and enjoy the process. Thank you very much for watching.